Hi, thank you. I just have a follow-up question regarding some of your national security policies. My name is Caitlin Rainey, and I'm a volunteer with Global Zero, which is the international movement to eliminate nuclear weapons. Now, previously you've said that you opposed President Obama's $1 trillion overhaul of our nuclear arsenal. I appreciate that, because many national security experts agree that the risks of nuclear weapons outweigh their benefits. For instance, even retired General Colin Powell has called nuclear weapons useless. As president, how would you rein in nuclear spending and reprioritize defense spending to actually address 21st century threats like the cybersecurity that you mentioned earlier?
So first, I do think we have to invest in our nuclear triad. I actually do, because our enemies are. And unlike Mr. Trump, I know what the nuclear triad actually is. The first thing I will do, you are right, nuclear proliferation is a problem, and nuclear weapons have been proliferating much more rapidly in the last 5 years than in the previous 10. Why? Because when we do not confront our adversaries, they just keep rolling. So the first thing I'm going to do, honestly, on day one in the Oval Office, is I will make a phone call. The first phone call will be to my good friend Bibi Netanyahu to reassure him we're going to stand with the state of Israel. The reason actually that phone call is important is because knowing our Arab allies extremely well, and knowing that we need their help in the fight against ISIS, I also know that even our Arab allies who disagree strenuously with Israel watch how we are treating Israel, and they conclude if this is how the United States treats Israel, then our friendship doesn't mean very much. So we need to send a signal, an unmistakable signal to the allies we have around the world to say we're going to stand with you. But the second phone call, more to the point of your question, will be to the Supreme Leader of Iran. Now, I must tell you, I don't know him. I've never met him. And I don't think he exactly appreciates people like me, so he may not take my phone call. But he is going to get my message. And the message is this: New Deal. New Deal with a new president. Until you open every military and every nuclear facility to real, anytime, anywhere inspections by our people, not yours, we, the United States of America, are going to make it as difficult as possible for you to move money. We can do that. I know how to do it. We don't need anyone's permission or collaboration to do it. We sure as heck don't need the UN. And we have to stop the money flow. Because you see, the money, the hundreds of billions of dollars that is flowing into Iran now, is being used unquestionably to fund terrorism, to fund a military buildup, and to fund a nuclear buildup. And with those two phone calls, a message will go out and around the world loud and clear that the United States of America is back in the leadership business. Now here's the other thing that I will do. This is an administration that has refused to respond to provocation after provocation after provocation. And when we do not respond, the world becomes a more dangerous place. So the Chinese hack into the Office of Personnel Management's database. We have known they were trying to do that for 12 years. Let me assure you, it was government ineptitude that we did not stop it. But nevertheless, when they hack and steal the very private information of 23 million Americans, there is no response from the United States of America. In fact, President Obama held a glittering state dinner for President Xi, and the subject never even came up. When North Korea attacks Sony Pictures and there is no response, North Korea decides, gee, I'm going to test an H-bomb. When Iran tests ballistic missiles and there is no response, even though it was in direct violation of the deal they had just signed, everybody around the world says, wow, there's not much consequence for challenging the United States, so we're going to keep challenging. And Mrs. Clinton famously asked, what difference does it make how 4 Americans died in Benghazi? Let me tell you what difference it makes, Mrs. Clinton. When terrorists purposefully attack an American embassy and 4 Americans are murdered, including our ambassador, and the next morning you stand up and lie about it and talk about a video that does not represent our values, instead of saying unmistakably, this was a purposeful terrorist attack and we, the United States of America, will respond and seek retribution, what you have done is say to every terrorist around the world that it's open season on the United States of America. That is what difference it makes, Mrs. Clinton.